Heyo, Hudson here with Planet 4 Gaming. Got another Russian jet for you. This time I'm flying the La-15. First of all, to start off this video, I'm just gonna let you know I'm not good with late game jets. I'm not good with this jet. I don't consider myself good. I mean, I get kills, I get wins, I get multi-kill games, but I don't think I really know what I'm doing. So, if you're looking at this video hoping to learn how to fly your jet, maybe this isn't the place to do that. But, if you like my videos, watch it anyway, because I need more views. Anyway, just to start off, with the La-15, you mainly find yourself fighting sabers, panthers, meteors, and vampires, and every so often a prop plane sneaks in. And that's about it. For the Panther, I'd say that's the most even match for the La-15 in the whole game. And if you could get full games of just La-15s fighting Panthers, I would say that would be the most balanced game possible. Unfortunately, not enough people play jets to do that, and I don't think Gaijin would work the matchmaker like that anyway. So there's that. Toughest planes to go up against are the Sabres, and surprisingly for me, the Meteors. They will run you down all the time in the La-15, and they can easily outturn you. Even flying props, going up against Meteor F3s and stuff, I never found them to be a problem, like when I'm flying my KI-84 or whatever. But yeah, in these games, I guess the Meteor F4s and Meteor 8s, those are pretty tough. And the Sabres can just outrun you easily. You can take the Sabre in a turn fight, but not in a straight line, unless he's bled a lot of speed. And that leaves the Vampire, which that is just not a challenge at all. Vampires are basically RP pinatas waiting to be popped open. So that's that. I'm here in a full game now. Starting out, I climbed up pretty high. I like to get to 5,000 meters. That's usually pretty good. The La-15 isn't really a plane you use as an energy fighter, whatever that means in late game jet matches. It's more of a turn fighter. But it's still good to get altitude so you don't get BNZ'd by Sabres. So here's one of these vampires I'm talking about. I was gonna go try to help my La-15 with that meteor on his tail, but when I saw this vampire coming in, I figured, I don't know if this guy will be able to kill me while I'm covering my teammate, but I don't want to risk being shot down by a vampire. I never have been yet, and I don't want to start now, so I'm going to go after him. Taking on the vampire is not something you do. Taking it out, anyway, is not something you do right away, which is the tough thing about it. Unless you can dive in from above, it's probably going to take you a minute or so just to get yourself on his tail. And flying the La-15 is not like flying prop planes at all, where you can just turn right in and line up the shot that'll kill him in one burst. It's more like do multiple passes, try to use short controlled bursts, peck away at him, do some damage. It'll mess up his maneuvering, and then when you can get right behind him, just let him have it. Fuck him up the ass with your cannons. set him on fire, tear off his wing, do whatever it takes to blow him out of the sky. That's what I find anyway. There are probably people that are better than me that will tell you this Hudson character is a fucking moron, don't listen to him. And they might be right, they're probably right, but this is how I do it. So this vampire has been giving me the runaround for a while. Its one advantage is it has a very good turn time, probably the best out of any of these jets, especially at low speed. It's fantastic, but that's not very important in these games, is it? This is all about fucking speed. So once I get him on an even level and he's bleeding off all that energy, I can use my speed and my relatively good turn time to situate myself on his tail. I'm coming in at kind of a higher altitude, slightly diagonal turn-in thing. Once again, I don't know what I'm doing. Basically, how I fly is pop combat flaps and air brake until you end up on someone's tail. Try to quick burst, my aim is shit. But that's no big deal. This thing has plenty of ammo. So I'm just scissoring back and forth. There's friends, enemies flying in. I'm just focused on this guy, which is probably a really bad idea, but it pays off in the end, because he goes for my guy, pulls straight up. Big mistake, vampire. He's right in my sights now, and I just let him have it. That new smoke effect is fucking awesome, by the way. So I climb up, pull out of my climb, level out, and dive. And now I gotta find someone else. I think both teams have been at each other's throats, like fucking each other up non-stop, but we've got the upper hand. We've got 4 or 5 fighters left, and they're down to 2 now with this meteor going down. You can see my engine overheating a bit there. A lot of people complain about it, but I don't really see it as an issue. Here's a separate game. This is just me showing you how to not attack a vampire. Do not come flying in and crash into the ground. He will outturn you at low altitude, low speed. So don't do that. You see he's dodging my 2 teammates pretty well here. And they're just getting very, very greedy and not paying attention to what the fuck they're doing. See, I'm going a bit following him in there, but I don't follow through. I just pull up, use my speed. He can't keep up. He's just at his last ditch effort to keep us off him. And it's working better than it should, by the way. We've got these morons that somehow unlock the La-15 and MiG-15. I don't know how. How did they get this far in the game? Watch this shit. Boom. See ya. There goes his wing. He smacked into a tree or some shit. There he goes. So it's up to me. By the way, we're the last 2 players in the whole game. It's up to me to kill this vampire. We go from 4 to 1 to 1v1. Just like that. And he's... That's not because of the vampire's skill. It's because of my teammates' retardedness. That's what it is. So I just climb up. Dive in on him. He's taking me through a canyon run now, of all things. And I can just be very patient. I think he's out of ammo. Not totally sure. He may have just been unable to line up a shot. But I'm very low on ammo. I just need to make the most of it, and there he goes. I don't think I got critical damage, but I did enough that he could not pull out of that dive and get over the hill. So that does it. I just won the game for my team there in that short engagement. So that'll give you an idea of how to not attack a vampire. Just be smart. I mean, don't dive into the ground. It's not that hard. I see people dive into the ground all the time in jets. I'll admit I dove into the ground when I first unlocked this plane. One time I did a dumbass split S when there was a Saber on me, so one time you get one chance to do that. Then you don't get any more chances. You're officially a dumbass if you don't learn after the first time. But after getting that vampire, the first one, I've climbed up, chased the Saber around a bit, and what's this thing flying super slow at low altitude? Fucking Spitfire Mark 16. Why are you in this game? You know why it is? Because he's got a squad mate that has the Saber or Panther or something, and he's like, oh, sure, join the game. Or no, it would have to be the Meteor, wouldn't it? Because he's British. And they're like, oh, let's squad up. We're gonna wreck, boy. No, you're not. You're in a Spitfire. The most unfulfilling kill I've ever gotten in the La-15. By the way, though, if you do encounter props in the game, do not turn fight them. You know, you might see a Tempest Mark II, Mark V, whatever, and think, oh, no, that's not going to get me, and take too many risks, and then you end up getting shot down by a Tempest. Not speaking from personal experience or anything here, it's just something that could happen. Not something I've done, but it could happen. Hypothetically, you could be shot down by a Tempest, a Tier 4 prop. But my MiG-15 friend has crashed here going after the Saber. What's with all the crashing in jet games? I don't know. It's like they've been given too much power. Like someone who's drove a Prius all his life and was given a Dodge Viper, not the Challenger. The old Dodge Viper that didn't have traction control and ended up smacking it into the 7-Eleven as he was going to pick up his game fuel Slurpee to come home and play Call of Duty. It's like that, I guess. They've just been given too much responsibility flying these late game jets and are now unable to do so without crashing at some point. Anyway, we've gone from 4-1 to 3-1, just like that. Well, I didn't see the crash. It could have been some of that Gaijin bullshit where the Saber got shots in him and he hit the ground but did not get the kill anyway. By the way, how did the Saber warp over here? That's another thing about jet games. He was just back there. I mean, I'm fast forwarding now. We'll say 2 minutes ago. 2 minutes, you can get all the way across the map. That's another thing with jets. I mean, if they're down on the deck, you can't spot them. It's like they're flying F-22s. Not on your radar until they're right at your base. Just a massive difference from props is what I'm saying. So I've got to land now. I'm less than a minute of fuel. I guess I could use some ammo too. And now we've got to take on this Saber. We've got an La-15, me and my La-15, and a MiG-15. Should be more than enough. Yeah, like I said, with the Saber it can easily outrun me. If he's at low level and I'm in a dive, then I can catch up to him, but other than that, he's got to bleed his speed in the turns, and I will eat him alive in the turns in the La-15, no contest. The one thing the Saber can do is it can pull up, do a loop, no problem. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. La-15 cannot follow that. And I think that's a problem with Russian planes at this tier overall. But I've got a guy with me chasing him. I think that's the MiG. I'm chasing him down this river now. He's low on fuel, by the way. He's been in the air this whole game, so we've got it in the bag. It's just a fight to see who can get to him first. And then I can just shred him with the 23s if I'm there first. By the way, the 23s on this plane, it's something I've complained about all the time on, like, the La-5, the Yak-15. Those had the NS-23. This thing gets the NR-23, which I think has a slight improvement. It seems to have a higher muzzle velocity and fire rate, so you don't have to lead as much, and it gets to the target faster, so I find aiming much easier in this plane. Well, aiming the guns. The plane, very difficult to aim with, mainly because of the rudder. When you're in a horizontal turn, the rudder wants to point you in one direction. Hopefully not towards the ground when you're at low altitude. But either way, the rudder will fuck up your aim, and it drives me fucking insane. You have no idea. But this Saber's run out of fuel, so he's just gonna stall and set me up a shot. So, time to end this game. Not very many difficult kills, I must say. I'm sorry about that. I wasn't being challenged very much in this game, was I? Not too often your toughest kill is a vampire. But that's the case here. I had another 2-kill game in this plane, but I kind of liked this one better. It was longer. It gives me more stuff to talk about. So, overall, what's my opinion on the La-15? Oh, before I say, I got a teammate complaining that I got that F-86 kill, saying I did nothing. Well, if you could argue I did nothing. I got 3 kills. 2 of them were practically set up for me. 1 was fairly easy because it was a vampire. But he only got 1 kill. So even if you take away the 2 freebies, I did just as good as him. So what is your argument? Should I have let one of you get the Saber and just backed off? No, fuck you, I'm gonna take it. What? Get out of here. Go fuck yourself. Anyway. Overall opinion on the La-15, I still think it's the best Russian plane to start out with, Russian jet to start out with. Yak-15, you can argue it's a fun one because you get to go up against props. But the low ammo count and all that, it's not super competitive, I don't think. But this plane is very fun. I think it's a good introductory plane to late game jets. It's kind of well-rounded, you know. It's not super fast, but it turns a little better than the Saber and I assume the MiG. I haven't flown the MiG. I have flown the Saber though, and I can tell you this thing turns better. So, that's about all I've got. Damn. That went by pretty fast. If you've got any questions, something I didn't address, please leave it in the comments. I'll do my best to answer it, but I'm not an expert this plane. I've got about 15 kills. Who knows how many flyouts? I don't keep track of that very well. No upgrades, by the way, if you're gonna ask that. Have not upgraded anything on this. It's very slow at tier 5. So yeah, that should cover everything, but I'm sure someone can come up with some weird question like, Hudson, if you could have sex with any plane in the world, what would it be? And I'd say, what kind of question is that? That has nothing to do with any of this. Okay, I'm getting off track. Anyway, Hudson here with P4G. Thanks for watching, and get the fuck out of here.